everyone. My name is Camilla Effendi and I'm the founder of Öyrən-Öyrət. And for improving our project, we decided to sit with some experts in the area of education. And today we're sitting with one of them. And this is Vafa Kazdal, Vafa Hanım, who is the Vice Rector of ADA University. Good afternoon, Vafa Hanım. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. And today, in this interview, we will focus on such topics as educational leadership, on the identity and the evolution of the teacher itself. So, first question. I have read in 2014, you have published an article about the language and identity in the post-Soviet world. But today, in 2026, I would like to metaphorically speak about languages. So we know that teachers are speaking in more formal way. However, students are speaking more naturally. So how do you think, when some student will listen to the person who's speaking more naturally, do you think that they will finally own the knowledge that they're getting, that they will actually remember it for whole their life and not just renting it for some upcoming test? Will they actually remember it better if it comes from someone that they can naturally understand better? How do you think?
Actually, I like the word that you use, own. It's a very nice word, and if the platform that you have created or you are going to create, I don't know all the details, will provide such opportunities where students or the learners, they will take ownership of their own learning, then I think it will very nicely complement what is happening in the classroom. So yes, the classroom is a little bit restricted area. It has its own challenges because formal education is about assessment. You cannot do it without an assessment, and it adds a little bit, it makes the learning process formal, adds formality, and as you say, makes teachers' language metaphorically, so to say, I think you use the word formal. And such kind of platform, I think, can balance very well with that natural way of learning, and where, as we say, students are at the far front of the learning process and take ownership for it. Then yes, probably my answer would be yes.
Thank you so much. Actually, I really like that you touch upon the point of the ownership. Because like our idea was about this, Hacı Abdin Tagif is about talking about some social problem that exists right now. And we decided that actually the problem was that many students now, they're not taking this ownership, they're not taking this responsibility so much, they rely on teachers, on parents. So that's why like the whole idea of Öyrən-Öyrət was to give the opportunity to students from 5th to 11th grade to both learn and teach at the same time, so they can take the ownership to themselves.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you so much for this response. Now I'd like to shift to the second question, and this will be about your research, like based on your research about the headmasters of schools and how they are coming from manager position to a leader position, to actual leader position. So how do you think a platform like Öyrən-Öyrət, will it create some kind of leadership crisis for teachers since they are students now becoming teachers themselves? Or will it, on the other hand, give more freedom to teachers and will finally free them from the role of only information checker? So how do you think about this point?
By students becoming leaders,
by students becoming teachers themselves.
But outside of the classroom, right?
Exactly.
Again, we are talking about the platform.
Yes.
Right? No, I don't think teachers will ever lose that position of leaders. This probably will add a new perspective to the role of the teachers, managing another group of leaders, right? Who are the students themselves. And I think this can make the teaching and learning process actually more interesting. This may challenge the teachers because their students are already in a new role, and this can challenge the teachers in a good way. As you correctly mentioned, that they will have to structure their lessons or the learning process so that it's also engaging and interesting for the students who already know what it means to be a leader, right? A leader, what does a leader mean? It means that this kind of students can question the teacher, can challenge the teacher, can think critically, can analyze. And I think at the end of the day, we as teachers, we all want this kind of students in our classroom, because having this kind of students also means professional growth for the teachers. It's a stimulating thing for the teachers. So no, I think a teacher who values leadership will use this as an opportunity.
Not as a child, yeah.
As a new opportunity, of course.
That's super good. That's a very good point, because like a lot of teachers, they were like from my previous school, I also asked that they were creating this kind of a platform. And one group of teachers, they said that, oh, this is such a great opportunity for students. They will come even more prepared to lessons. But the other group, they said that, oh, so that means that they're stealing my job or something like this. And of course, like the first group of teachers, they were more, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of life. You always have a different group of people, so.
Yeah. Coming to the third question, it will be again about the teacher role, and now about more classic role of the teacher. So since you are also the Gazakh teachers seminary member, you really know about the historical Azerbaijani pedagogy. So how do you think, if Haji Zainalabdin Tagiev himself, he was alive in nowadays, would he think about our platform Öyrən-Öyrət as a step forward, as an actual innovation that would actually help his mission, which was bringing a better future to Azerbaijan through education? One of the areas was education. So do you think he will see this as an innovation, or he will see it as a step back, because now the idea of classical offline education, which is, for example, was given in seminaries, now it will be not that popular and it will not be that valued in the society? How do you think, how Haji Zainalabdin Tagiev would think on that matter?
Well, I think if Haji Zainalabdin Tagiev was alive, he would definitely bring technology, right? So we would have a different kind of seminary, probably a hybrid, I don't know, with all this online artificial intelligence, definitely. But, there are certain fundamental things that will never get lost. And that's, of course, human interaction, human factor, human connection, like we are sitting now, right? It's one thing. And then imagine we were having this interview online. Yes, for instance, if I were somewhere right now, not here in Baku, I don't know, abroad, that could save us and we could have this interview online or something. But when there is an opportunity of empathy, as I said, human interaction, it will always stay and it will always be valued. Right? But we should never forget about what technology allows us to do, because it widens, not widens, but expands all the opportunities that we have. And we should definitely use it wisely. And you gave the example of seminary, right? It is the technology that today actually allows ADA University to expand the outreach to the regions, right? Because our education model at the contemporary, at the restored Gazakh seminary, is the hybrid education model, right? And I think this already responds to your question, and I'm sure that Haji Zainalabdin Tagiev would probably bring all the latest technological advancements to his country.
So if I understand correctly, like in the future of Azerbaijan, do you see that this classical education, for example, we're 11th graders, we're still coming to school, of course we're using our computers and stuff, but do you believe that this classical education of coming to schools, interaction with teachers, it will stay in future of Azerbaijan? Because I have seen like a lot of people saying that most probably in the future there will be self-study, or there will be more of the online internet study. So do you think that this classical education will stay?
Actually, I have a personal dilemma. Here my opinion is a little bit divergent. From one side, I think with all this technological development, I think at the end of the day we will come back to the classical education model. sometimes I have these feelings. But from the other side, this technology thing is unavoidable. We cannot escape it. So it will have certain role in our life. But no, education will always exist, but the education itself will probably change, I think. So for example, a platform like you create,
Yes.
I think will become very valuable, where youngsters will be learning from each others, students will be learning from each others. They need that space. And the role of the teachers and professors will be more of, facilitators, people who guide them, rather than, as you yourself mentioned, transmitting the
Information,
knowledge.
yeah.
So I definitely think that the classical model will exist for the reasons that I mentioned, because this natural, if you are talking about natural things, because
Exactly.
natural is when human beings talk to each other. That's the
Exactly.
natural
Exactly.
side, right? And people will be longing for that natural communication and natural interaction. Most likely, the way technology will influence probably how this communication takes place. Definitely, the knowledge transmission part will definitely gradually it will be eliminated. Will take some new form.
New formats of the education.
Yes,
itself. Okay.
new form of communication.
Okay. Yeah, I see your point. Thank you so much for answering this question. And now we're coming to the fourth question. It is again about the understanding of education, how it will suit students more. So it is always assumed that you need to get the knowledge from, like, let's say, more knowledgeable other. You need to get the education from someone who's the expert already. For example, in our case, teachers. But in our platform, a 10th grader can teach a 7th grader. Does teaching while still learning will actually create more resilient student? So if there is a student that is getting the education from a teacher, the expert one, and there is another student who's getting the education from this exact 10th grader who's teaching while still learning, how do you think, which of them will create a more flexible student, a more resilient student, maybe more even responsible student? Since in our case, student needs to understand that this is a 10th grader, I'm not giving them any monetary matters, I'm just getting the credit that we have on our platform. How do you think, will this create a more resilient and flexible student or not?
That's an interesting question. Well, I think, definitely a student teaching another students has its own many benefits. Still in that platform, you need a teacher.
You think we need
You
a
see,
teacher?
this is what I am thinking about. You need a teacher who would, I don't know what is the right word, okay, let's use, who would guide you.
Guide all of the people who are in the platform.
Yes, who will guide those 10th grade peers, training peers, let's call them, right?
Yeah.
So they cannot do that. There is a need for some kind of leader who is more or less expert in organizing all these things. Therefore, I cannot say that this platform is completely student or peer run, so you still need that person. But I think at this stage, we still need formal education, because we are not ready as a society to not only Azerbaijani society, even globally. I cannot tell this, I don't know. We are not ready to totally move to peer-to-peer education, peer-to-peer education. We need maybe that's the future model, but still I think in peer-to-peer education we will still need those facilitators. Maybe they will be senior peers, I don't know. But I wouldn't restrict it to either or. But if we have this kind of opportunities that will complement the formal education. It will definitely give positive results, I think, as you say, more flexible, more confident, more responsible, more accountable generation of learners. This kind of platforms will prepare. But definitely, if you ask me if we are ready to totally move to that and only model, not yet.
Yeah, I also agree actually about that, because when we were initially thinking about the project, our main goal was not that we will make the society switch to this peer-to-peer education. We were more thinking that, let's say, there are people who need a tutor, but they do not have, let's say, financial abilities to get the tutor, or they have any other physical barrier to get the tutor, to get this education, but they still have the right to get this education. They can be educated. So we were thinking that we're actually, as you very, I like this word that you mentioned, complemented, that this platform will complement to the formal and official education that we have every day in schools. It will complement really well.
Yes.
The idea you mentioned about guide, this is a fresh new idea. So
yes,
we will
of course, you need
brainstorm it. This is very nice. Yeah.
Yes, because how will those peer trainers teach other students? They need some kind of I don't know, induction, preparation, guidance, so that to do this job effectively and so that you have tangible results.
Exactly.
Unless you focus on other things, not on knowledge, but on skills.
For example, like which kind of skills?
I mean, the same skills, I don't know, responsibility, resilience, adaptability, confidence building. These are all very important skills that, for example, schools do not give, average school or typical schools, they do not develop these skills in youth, right?
And when it's balanced, it will be more knowledge-based from schools and even more skill-based from the platform. So it will be balancing together.
Can be. Well, it depends. It depends who your audience is. For example, if these are more state schools, for example, yes, you need to balance with this kind of skills and abilities. Even ability to think creatively, to generate something. So these are all very important skills that I think your platform can help.
Thank you so much.
Öyrən-Öyrət.
Yeah. And the last question for today, I think this is the most interesting one, but for me. So if you were to rebuild the Azerbaijani educational system from the scratch tomorrow, what would be one sacred element that it has right now, right this moment today, that you will remove from our educational system? And when it was removed, would our platform still survive in this new system? Will it still be valuable in new conditions of education?
This is a controversial question, and you will show it on social networks.
We're thinking from all kinds of perspectives,
I don't like assessment part.
Okay.
As someone who has been in the field of education for a long time, I think that ruins all the beauty of learning.
I agree.
Yes. Of course, I understand that you cannot eliminate it totally. It's also important, but I think this is an area where we should all educators be very creative. How to this is probably one thing that I would probably change. How to design the evaluation so that we enable the young people to show all their potential and not to kill that potential, or so probably this is something that I would want to spend some time on. I would say what I would change. What was the second part of your?
The second part was that in this new kind of conditions that you're creating, would our platform still survive?
Because a new type of what? What do you mean?
So let's say you removed the.
Of course, your platform is created for that.
we would totally survive in these conditions.
Yes, because if you say that users of your platform, they take ownership,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
They own it, they are accountable, they are responsible, then they feel that without that assessment part, right? Or whatever. I am not saying that they should not be assessment or evaluation. What I am saying that we have to be more creative with that. Right now, I think we are not enough creative with how we can evaluate. And I remember when there was a pandemic, I wrote an email, one of my first emails to the whole ADA community. I said, maybe this pandemic, you remember that? Maybe this pandemic will be a chance to come up with the education model that has no assessment. That's my dream. I mean, my personal dream. I know that it has challenges, but such kind of platforms actually is a very good tool, because if you increase the ownership among the learners,
Yeah.
natural ownership, right? Then it means that it will not be assessment based. It will be based on owning the learning, thinking about the process,
Exactly.
and they will want to learn more. Not to be assessed more, but to learn more.
Not to just get a grade, but
Not
actually
exactly,
yeah,
not to just get a grade.
just to,
right?
to learn.
But to learn, to enjoy, to be together with their peers. Because, well, I assume that your platform will be more how we deliver this,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And how they learn this.
Yes,
Or that's the
yes.
purpose of the platform, and not what grade they receive at the end.
Exactly. So all about the process.
Yes, and therefore I think this kind of platforms can be successful.
Oh, thank you
And
so
that's
much.
another way to complement formal education, because
Exactly.
formal education about assessment. This is more about their own inner intrinsic motivation.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to bring to the public. The idea that you're not studying for your grades, you're studying for yourself. You're coming on our platform
Exactly.
and spending your time on other people's or yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
On yourself,
yes,
exactly.
on yourself. You're accountable for what you're doing. You're responsible for what you're doing, and this builds the whole sense of responsibility.
Right.
Yeah, this was our main goal.
Very good.
Yeah, so thank you so much for this
Thank
interview.
you. Thank you.
Because all of your insights that you gave to us, all the ideas, we will brainstorm them,
Okay.
and it will I'm sure that it will help us make the whole project
I hope
better.
so.
So thank you so much for
Good
your
luck
time.
with
Vafa.
your project.
Thank you so much.